What up YouTube, and hey, come check out the Marksmanship Hunter Mage Tower Challenge. Alright, so going over the gear that I use for this this challenge, as you can see I'm 937 item level, so that is fairly high when it comes to Mage Tower in general, so that helped a lot. I'm not gonna kid myself. The gear helped a lot in putting out the damage so I can, kill it faster before I could, bypass a lot of the mechanics. Now, in terms of legendary, the only good one that I think I have is the Celerity of the Windrunners, which gives you 15% haste after you pop Windburst, so that's really nice. And I have Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish, helps a little bit with the AoE, not as much, it's mainly a stat stick to be honest. But all in all, the gear is average, maybe a little bit above average. I have only the two tier set piece with a more focus, and that's mainly about it. So yeah, item level will indeed help you. It's not the be all end all because you do need to make sure that you handle the mechanics, but item level and higher damage will help you finish it faster. You don't have to deal with the mechanics as long. In terms of talents, there are a lot of versions of the builds. I personally tried a few variations. I went with Lone Wolf, no pet. You don't need a pet, you need as much single target DPS as possible. Lock and Load, personally I prefer Lock and Load because I find myself moving a lot, especially in the later phases of the Mage Tower, and firing off those aim shots can kill some of the hands really quick. You'll see what the hands are. There's nothing to talk about here. Post haste is the only thing that to go for. You're gonna disengage, you need that burst of speed, it's really good. Patient Sniper again, I've seen Explosive Shot being used. Patient Sniper, I've tried Explosive Shot. AoEing the mobs is not what's going to get you through the Mage Tower challenge. In my opinion, you can even ignore them if you want. Now, Binding Shot, by far the only thing that you should get from here. AoE stun, enough said, so you don't really need Wyvern Sting. Now again, second to last year, a lot of people use Barrage. I haven't seen Volley being used. I don't think you should even consider that. Murder of Crows, because like I mentioned, if you're comfortable kiting, CCing everything, you can just ignore clearing the ads and you can just focus the boss, and Murder of Crows of course helps you with that. And lastly, again, I've tried Piercing Shots. It does a lot of single target damage, but it consumes a lot of focus, and you don't really have a lot of time to generate focus if you want to fire aimed shots. If you want to fire aimed shots, you have to stand still, and if you want to fire as many aim shots as you can, whenever you have an opportunity to stand still, you need that extra focus, and Piercing Shot doesn't really help you with that. Trick Shot again, I mean, it helps with the ads clearing the ads. Yeah, it's good. It's not ideal when you focus the boss and you have the ads there, because they have to be like right next to the boss for them to cleave, and I don't see that happening very often. Sidewinders is, I didn't try too many attempts with this, but it did work for my winning attempt. You could go with either one. I picked Sidewinders just to see how well it does. It's a little bit trickier to use because I was personally used to spamming aim shot and multi-shot a lot. You cannot spam this, you only have 2 charges, and they're on a 10-second recharge rate. Well, depending on your haste, the recharge can be smaller or bigger. It is good because it does a lot more damage, and if you can smoothly rotate your focus generation, you can use Sidewinders. And if you can CC properly, you don't really need to spam aim shot because you're gonna get opportunities to. You don't need to spam Arcane Shot because you're gonna get opportunities to simply use aim shot, which is a lot better in my opinion to get the fight done. In terms of consumables, I personally used the Barracuda Mastery 300 Mastery. You can of course get a 375 Mastery food, whatever increases your damage the most. Marksmanship relies heavily on Mastery, so this is what I used. you'll also need to use drums. Very important. Drums of Fury. You need that bloodlust. 25%. It's not 30, but it's 25%. It helps. You can even get 2 of these in one Mage Star challenge if you don't have as much DPS. Because I'm not really sure how the cooldown works, but just save it for the boss and you're fine. You can of course use runes. You can use flasks, which I actually ran out of, and I didn't really feel like going to Orgrimmar to buy some more. I just tried it with this and it works. Of course, my item level helped because I was high enough. So if you're not as high item level, you might want to buff as much as possible, get the enchants or gems. But like I said, damage is not what's going to win this. As long as you can do the mechanics properly, you should be fine even with lower item level. For noobs like me, higher item level works a lot more. Now let's hop into the challenge and see what's what. Oh, and one other thing that I personally found very useful is a focus macro for concussive shot on Karam, which will be kiting for the most part of the challenge. It helps when you have to target the hands and the boss and the ads. Sometimes you don't want to, always. It's easier to manage to slow him without having to, individually tab him or click him. It helps. The macro is fairly simple. You can see it right on the screen. And when I start the challenge, of course, buff it up. Put a tar trap in front of Karam. Go at the max range that you can possibly go. Wait for the encounter to start, and as soon as it starts, just pop Wind Burst. Spam a couple of aimed shots, and of course in between aim shots you can even put down binding shots down. It gives you an extra couple of aim shots and some time to get away from him once he starts. So you want to do as much damage as you can, and then you need to start kiting. Kiting is basically something that you can get accustomed to. You can do it however you want to. Just make sure that you optimize your tar trap, you optimize your binding shot, your concussive shot. Don't let it get too close, and try to damage him as much as possible. Try to sneak in as many aim shots as you can. It helps. As you can see, the damage is pretty nice. He goes down pretty fast. You don't need to disengage as far as I did, but of course it does help putting in some more aim shots into him. Now, as soon as you deal enough damage to him, he's going to go into that invulnerable state where he's going to get healed, and the boss rest, which is your main target, is going to become targetable, and you're going to need to start doing a lot of damage. Now, he's going to spawn ads, and this is up to you. If you want, you can actually kill the ads as well. You don't need to. You can just endlessly kite them. It helps sometimes to clear the ads as well. Plus, with the side winners, you're inadvertently going to hit them as well, and you can mark shot them anyway, so they kind of die automatically. Just make sure that you put as much damage into the boss as possible. Once he gets down to a low enough percentage, he's going to become invulnerable, and Karam is going to start chasing you again. This will turn into essentially what would be the third phase of the encounter, and you're going to have to kite Karam. You're going to have to kite the ads as well. Remember, don't let anything hit you. Karam is most likely going to one-shot you. The ads are going to pretty much deal damage. And this is the first important ad that you need to be focusing on, the hand. Now, once the hand appears, it will start casting Grasp from Beyond, which is a spell that will hit you for 90% to 100% of your HP, meaning that you do not want it to finish, so you will need to interrupt it or burst it down before it gets the chance to finish its cast time. Either way, as soon as you interrupt it, you should have enough time to kill it before the next cast starts and finishes as well. So keep that in mind, that has priority. And also keep in mind that while you do all of this, you will still need to concussive shot Karam so it doesn't reach you, because he will reach you and he gets faster the longer he's alive. As soon as you clear the hand, you'll need to start damaging him, and of course if you want, you can start damaging the ads as well, and continue doing this until you switch to the next phase. Now, for the last phase of the encounter, which is the one that we're in right now, Reyes will become fully targetable. You can essentially just hit him and end the encounter, but you do have to keep in mind that the ads will keep spawning. The hand will keep casting its stuff, so you need to also make sure that you don't let it finish the cast. And one last thing will happen, and that is a rune that the boss spawns, and the rune will continually shrink until it spawns a big ad that you essentially don't want to have. Now the ads will chase you and kill you. If it reaches you, it will probably pretty much one-shot you. You cannot slow it, but you can indeed freeze him, and you can, if you have time during that freeze trap, you can essentially kill the boss then. I wouldn't recommend it. It did work out for me in this part, but you can essentially just stay in the rune. The rune will disperse, and then you can continuously doing what you do. And that's pretty much it. This is pretty much the encounter. The lower your damage is overall, the more you have to keep in mind these mechanics and keep doing them, zigzag them between the hand, between the slow on Karam, and between the clearing of the ads, and of course shrinking the rune until it disappears. You have to keep that in mind. But yeah, this is it. Hopefully you guys will get it. Hopefully you won't have as much of a hard time as I did. And see you in Azeroth. See you in the next video. Peace.